English, First Additional Language, Lesson 4. Topic: Planning Skills. Writing. Turn to Lesson 4 in the Learner's Workbook. This lesson includes an individual activity with formative assessment. Integration. Writing effectively will help you in all your other subjects as well as in your day-to-day life. Prior learning, planning and writing. Lesson overview. In this lesson, you will learn about the first step in the process of writing, i.e., planning and mind mapping.
Good morning, I'm Cassandra.
And I'm Janet. And today we're going to be focusing on planning. Now this is LO3 and it picks up on what we were doing last week, because LO3 says that you should be able to use mind maps, diagrams, lists of keywords and flow charts. And we were talking about mind maps, so we're picking up from last week and we're going to emphasize mind mapping. Cass, you talked in the last program about brainstorming, and we didn't have time just to explore what brainstorming is. So I thought if you could just discuss brainstorming for a moment or two.
Brainstorming is when you cultivate ideas around a certain concept.
Right, so if we looked at this, we've got brainstorming in the center of what is going to be a mind map. And Cass has said you produce ideas. Now, when you brainstorm, you don't have to think about whether your ideas are intelligent or not. You simply speak. So if we were brainstorming, let's say, on how we could improve school spirit, for example, if that were our main idea, the ideas produced by, let's say, Cass says we could have more inter-house events, and somebody else says we could have a sort of open day. And then somebody says, yeah, but about those inter-house events, so they come back to this. So in the inter-house events, what could we do? Well, certainly we could have inter-house soccer. And somebody says, no, hang on. What about instead of inter-house soccer, why don't we have inter-grade soccer? So when you are brainstorming, you are not trying to organize the ideas. You are simply producing them. Bum, bum, bum,
And
bum.
they just flow.
They
You can
just flow.
have the natural
Yeah.
flow.
And nobody stops and says, what a stupid idea, Cass. Where did you come up with that rubbish? Nobody stops you. You just go. And then when everybody's dried up, then you stop and evaluate. But what a mind map does, and why I love mind mapping, if we look at it, is that it is already ordering it. So if somebody else comes up with an idea about open day, I think we should have food, different regions or cultures of food. And somebody else says, yes, but I want to go back to the inter-house soccer. I don't play soccer. Can't we have swimming in the warm seasons and soccer in the winter seasons? And somebody else says, no, but hang on, I wanted to do something over here because I thought the school spirit really needs war cries. So we need to do war cries. And somebody says, yeah, but don't forget, all our houses have the same war cries. So this must be related to this. We need war cries here as well. What your mind map is doing is already ordering it. And another way that you work with the mind map, you draw the same symbol here as there to link the two ideas, to show us when we go back to evaluate, the ideas are linked. And the same thing, we could draw a soccer ball over here and a soccer ball over here, and we would know that those ideas are also linked. So you can use symbols to link ideas, you could use big arrows to link ideas. Why I love mind mapping is if you just plan, putting the ideas down. So as Cass says something, I just write them down. Then they are like that, but the links aren't clear. What's beautiful about mind mapping is that the links are clear. Now, if we look at our mind map again, can I just show you here what we were saying last week? That line is a thought. So inter-house, what? Inter-house soccer, inter-house swimming, inter-house war cries. So these ideas are all linked to that. And a good mind map should be able to be read forwards as well as backwards. So here, to improve the school spirit in our school, we need inter-house events such as soccer, swimming, and war cries. Or soccer, swimming, and war cries are part of the inter-house events which we are suggesting to improve the school spirit. So a good mind map goes forwards as well as backwards. Why? Because it is ordered. And if you hand into your teacher a mind map, you say, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, but this is a complete mess and you're never going to be able to follow it, then you haven't mind mapped properly. You've got to be ordered. And those links. And notice what I'm doing on those lines. I'm writing either one word above the line, or sometimes, yes, like with food and regions, I've got here one word above and below the line. Now, technically, I shouldn't have two words, so I would do it like that. So it's open day food, regional or cultural foods. So it's one word above and below the line. The minute you start writing, what my students do is they bring a line off here and then they write whole sentences. Now, the minute you do that, we call it a draft. And a draft is a first written out version. This is the plan, that is the draft. So planning here, this is a plan, and this is a draft. And then what students do is they draw a block. Let me get my black pen again. They draw a block around this. Please don't do that. What you're then doing is you're cutting your ideas off. So suddenly Cass has the most brilliant idea. Sorry, Cass, we can't put it in. I've drawn a
boxed it in.
Yes, boxed it in. You box in your minds. Please, there are no blocks around it. Now, somebody told me that that's called a concept mind map, as opposed to a mind map. Have you ever heard this term of a concept map? Because I hadn't heard it before.
No, because then the whole point of a mind map is to let things flow.
That's it. And add. Sort of a week later, you are reviewing it. Got another idea. You can add it in. Please don't box. So your mind map should look very much the way our mind map looks here. Right. Now, mind mapping is never a waste of time. One of the students asked, is planning a waste of time? It's not a waste of time. Now, Cass, tell me, now honesty. This is confession time. Did you plan when you were at school?
No.
Nor did I. Why didn't you plan? Now tell me.
I never had time.
Right. For me, I couldn't see the point. Especially our Afrikaans teacher used to insist on a plan. So what I used to do was to leave about 10 lines at the top of my essay. Then I wrote my whole essay, and then I did the plan to please her. Now, people, that was madness. And to say I was too lazy or I didn't have the time means that you cannot see the point of it. Now, I'm now as a teacher, I can see the point of it. Can you now as a journalist?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Planning is important.
It's essential. It's crucial.
Yeah.
It has to be done. So we've got experience. Now we are old like me or young and delightful like Cass, but we can still see the point of planning. If I could get that across to you during this lesson today, I would feel that we had achieved something, that you would plan. And Cass said something else last week that I want to pick up. She said it takes practice. She was talking about summarizing. Takes practice.